Hello and welcome back to the Weird and Proud podcast. It's Sam Ram and
James
Shams or Hames, as some may call him.
Jaime, I heard seemed
Jaime.
more appropriate because I said
Jaime.
James one time and he's like, "Oh, it's Jaime." I'm like, oh,
Jaime, like a
all right.
hymen. Kind of like the
Exactly.
hymen. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's having a great week. First week back from Spain for us. You adjusting okay, James?
Yeah, it was a good adjustment.
Yeah.
I'm still tan. That's what's important.
I know. I'm kind of losing it. I was actually just like thinking about I need to put like a sunless tanner on. You get so tan. It's kind of crazy. A little Wisconsin boy over here. Turned Spanish. Spanish man. A Wisconsin boy to a Spanish man. I kind of like this when we record on a weekday because then I feel like I really haven't seen you all day.
You really haven't seen me all day. I've been gone all day.
I know. James, does like the work thing. It's so crazy. But we do have a great show for you. We have bringing back some weird stories. Like sometimes there just aren't like some good weird stories that I feel like are worth sharing. But I did see a couple this week that I feel like I need to share with you guys. And I feel like they're pretty educational. I feel like you'll get a lot out of them. And then, if you're going to a party or you're going to like a work event and you need like a fun fact or like a fun story, or something to share with the class, you'll have a nice little something to share with people.
But don't let that deter you from calling in and leaving more weird
No,
stories.
of course.
If you've left a story that we just haven't used yet, we still might use it.
Yeah.
Because
Don't give
some
up
weeks
hope.
it might not
Depends.
fit in. Yes.
Or I try to mix them up. And someone else had commented that they're like, I don't believe these voicemails. Like, are you sure you're listening to them? And I believe them. There's been none that I've been like, oh, this person's making it up. Unless the ones that are like people who call in are wasted.
Yeah, there's all the ones I've heard, which much like all of you out there that are listening right now, I don't get to hear a lot of them in advance.
Oh, yeah, you don't. I mean, I obviously go through them now, and I don't know. I've never been like, oh, this person's lying. Like there have been a couple where someone's under the influence of something, but yes, definitely send in voicemails. We obviously have some great voicemails for you, and I don't think any of them are lies. I believe all of these people. Also, a couple people had commented that they were interested in like a little bit more about, what I actually do as like a job. And
we got to keep that a mystery.
Oh, you think?
Unless the people need it.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, well, I was going to say, if you have any specific questions, write it in the comments. Like, what do you want to know is my question. And then we'll decide if it's...
Would anyone out there like to have me formally interview Sam on the podcast?
Yeah, interview me, will ya? Yeah, any questions, or if you have some for James, write them below. Because we had done a while back, we do like some questions that we get, and I've asked you some questions. But if there's anything, if there's, especially things that we talk about on here, of course, but comment them in the YouTube's comments, or on Instagrams, on the Instagrams.
I have an important question.
What
in the world has the internet fallout been like since the Vanderpump Rules season finale?
James. So
notice I know things.
He does. I know. I've been educating Jams, Hame, on all of the Scandival drama. And what's funny is that I did put a poll out on Instagram on who actually watches, and it's like 50-50.
Okay.
I thought it would be way more. I'm interested, again, comment below if you are like, all caught up, you've been watching. But I feel like everyone is talking about it, so at least people know what it is. But of course, we watched the finale last night.
Riveting.
And James watched it with me, obviously. And yeah, it was pretty crazy. Everyone was like, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? And it's like, what... It's not like I have like a hot take or like something, like an opinion on it, other than just like wild. And there is like still this part of me that is like, was this somehow planned or scripted in a way? Like, I know, like, I'm sure Sandoval and Raquel are still shitty people, and obviously, there was definitely some cheating and something weird, but like, was it set up like in a certain way to make it more designed for reality TV?
I'll comment on that.
Okay, yeah,
If I were
comment
to
on it,
just give
James.
my gut reaction, and
What is your gut
I could be
reaction?
so wrong,
Yeah,
and maybe she is just going to be the next Oscar-winning actress.
yeah,
But I think Ariana's reaction was so visceral
yeah, true.
that that would be tough for me. I love a good
Unless they're all
conspiracy
really good
theory.
actors. Yeah,
I'm just showing my expertise in the world of the Vanderpump people now.
yeah. Well, I guess they're
That's just
just
my
like,
thought.
it's like the show had not been doing well for so long. Like Vanderpump, like used to be, like I've watched every season, watched since the beginning, and it used to be the show that everyone watched. And then the last couple of years, it's really dipped down, and that was like a big topic of conversation of people being like, "Is the show going to last?" A bunch of the main people on the show had been
Got
fired
it.
or left. So like no one was watching. Like they had like record lows
I,
viewers for
I
the
might have
show.
misheard your.
The part
So
I
here,
know you don't know all the background details.
but here's the part I'll
Yeah.
100% agree with you on, especially after hearing that, because I'm all learning this as we go.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Here's the part I 100% agree on. I think that based on what I saw last night,
It looked
Mr.
100% real.
Sandoval had done what I no one could
Mr.
convince me otherwise
Sandoval.
that this is an attorney like thing, right?
Yeah.
But Mr. Sandoval has done this sort of thing before to
Yes.
her.
Yes. Yes. He's definitely a really shitty person.
I think he's cheated on her multiple times.
Yeah.
And I think that there were times where the producers didn't get involved,
Yeah.
or people might have known but nobody did.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's where I'll agree with you. I don't think it's conspiracy theory like, but I think it's all right. We're getting this out in the open ratings wise, right?
Right. Yeah, of
Because
course.
yeah,
They wanted, well, and that's the thing which you didn't know too, was that they had wrapped filming for the show like weeks before this drama happened.
what
So
really?
then they went back in and refilmed.
No, really?
So that, it's just, I definitely think, there was, they deserve like Emmys too. Like if you, like, you're right. Like the way they're acting, they're not actors. I guess some of them, like Tom had tried to be an actor, but yeah, like their reactions were very believable. But there's also this part where it's like, it's hard to believe that, I guess too, that like someone really would do that and be, and like they got it all on a TV show. But I don't know. Who knows? It is crazy. Very excited for the reunions, 3-part
Is
reunions
that
coming up.
tonight?
No, 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 no. Like it happens like when it would normally play the show.
Well,
So it's like once a week.
that's good because
They draw it out.
some of the Packers offensive coaches were interviewed, and that's going to be on tonight. So
Oh my God. I was like, wait, what do the Packers have
it's
to do with this?
OTAs right now.
Okay, well, OT.
It's very
I was trying
important.
to think of what the OTA, occupational therapy advancements.
It's basically like an extension of rookie practice. Not everyone has to be there, but everybody does kind of show up.
Got it.
It used to be the drama around Rodgers because he didn't come the last couple of years.
Interesting. There
So
you go,
interesting.
guys. Listen, can't say you
For
never
those of
learned
you that
something.
listened to the drinking rules from last week, that
Yeah.
would be take a drink because I mentioned sports.
Yeah. Well, that should be a thing. Like you have like 30 seconds to like update the people on the sports. But I don't know if that's possible because you could never do it in 30 seconds. Okay, anyways, 30 seconds are over. I have some exciting news stories to share with you guys that, speaking of things that you need to be educated on. And James, I am curious if you have any guess on what this story might be, or what I'm gonna what I'm gonna ask you. So this is a story from the New York Post. Literally happened this week. So there was a couple who had a baby, and their baby's name was told that it was illegal. What was the name of the baby? What do you think is a name that would be illegal? Any idea?
Give my brain a moment.
Yeah, no, take your time. Think
In
about
the
this, guys.
United States?
No, where did it happen?
I
In
was
the
gonna say
UK, in the UK.
okay,
But still, it's in the UK. But
King
it's
Charles.
no. Oh, good guess though.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious if someone
I
named their
wouldn't put it
kid
past people.
King
That was the first
Charles.
that's why I asked in this country, 'cause I don't think that
Totally. If it's like a
that's why I'm like, I
president
don't
or
think it's
a
in this country
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
no, you can't I believe that there aren't any names that can be illegal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I believe. I could be wrong on that. Fact
well,
check me.
the answer or what so this family in the UK, Mandy and Dan Sheldon, they had a child and they wanted to name it Lucifer.
Oh, I was gonna go religion. That was my if it wasn't royalty,
Yeah.
I was gonna go religion.
And they said they didn't choose the name for its satanic connotations. They just wanted a nice, strong name. And they said that like the woman, like technically, apparently it's illegal in like New Zealand. Like they listed a bunch of countries that it is illegal. The woman who like registers the name was like, I will not. Like, you must change the name. But from what like I'm seeing, they ended up just doing it anyways. And now they have a child named Lucifer.
You could name him Luke and make the middle name Isfer and then go
Lucifer.
Lucifer.
Um, yeah. That is interesting. No matter like what religion you are though, or even how religious you are, like that's still like I'm not gonna name my child Satan.
Are they I
But
wonder about the psychological health of the parents because are they concerned with what the fallout of naming their child could be? Like what
well,
it could do to that child?
that's what everyone was commenting on is like, oh my God, like think about, what's gonna happen in school. Think about like even people who just, like at work or like, anyone when you hear like, hi, I'm Lucifer, it's like the fuck, you don't I don't even know if that's I don't know, someone you really like want to be around. You're like, oh, so you're literally named after the devil. But
So what do you think about regulating baby names?
well, I don't think they can really regulate. I think again, it's up to the parents. Like especially here in the U.S. Like you said, I don't think any names are legal. I don't think they should be, unless it's like I don't know, like a derogatory name, or something like a really offensive.
Like calling your kid dumbass,
Right. But
which some parents are irresponsible enough to do.
what? But though, so we had a student in middle school, and I forget what country he was from. It was somewhere in the Middle East, and his name was Nimrod.
Okay. The language differences is
Language
that's a different thing.
differences,
Yeah.
but like even like I think he was born in the U.S. It's
They
like
might not have known.
right, but like his name is I don't even want to say his last name just in case. Can you imagine if he's like listening and he's like,
Well, and I
but
that
kids were so mean,
oh, that's awful.
and it was like, yeah, I don't think the parents even knew, but like with a name like Lucifer, like what you're
And
doing,
at a certain point, when you're kids, you're gonna get made fun of for your name. It's
right?
there. People are gonna make fun of you for stuff.
Yeah,
It's a terrible thing, but it's been happening since the dawn of
dawn of
civilization,
time.
right? Picking on some people for certain things,
Yeah,
and certain names even at certain times of year. Like I know there were guys that were named Arnold back when Arnold Schwarzenegger was a big it was like one of the most popular people in the world, right?
yep.
And people would get made fun of for that sort of thing, right?
Oh my
I
god.
still get I say the word I introduce myself as James and I still get people all the time that go James Bond, which isn't picking on me. It doesn't bother me, but it's
Right.
just one of those things that sometimes you get.
Like Hame.
And it yes, exactly. It doesn't to my level it doesn't bother me, but what I'm getting at is and do are those parents concerned about what that could
Well, I
do?
think they're just in La La Land because that was what the registration person brought up is like, do you know what you're literally going to do to this child? And they're like, we think it's a strong name. It means like in Greece, it means, I think they said like light, the light or something.
True.
Yeah, light bringer in Greek, which is like kind of funny.
Well, Lucifer before was the devil was an archangel in
Right.
the story of the Bible,
Right.
right? Lucifer was an angel.
James,
It
how do
was an
you know all
angelic
this
name.
random shit? James knows. You should be on Jeopardy. I really think I'm gonna put you
Yeah,
in.
I had a friend that was on Jeopardy.
You did.
He was really good. We did have. I was on his trivia team. We were really good at that.
Oh,
But
interesting.
I
Huh.
do love a little trivia here and there.
Yeah, James is big on trivia. So anyways, I think that's just something you guys should know and think about and maybe ask that at family dinner tonight. Be like, what do you guys think about the name Lucifer? But like, even like Lucy.
I was thinking that
Lucifer.
with the Luke thing, and
Yeah.
then of course during these times you can
During
give that gender name to a male baby very easily.
right.
That'd be an easier version of Lucy Fur, but
Yeah.
still
Lucifer. um yeah, interesting. Very interesting.
parents out there, what do you think
Yeah,
about that?
parents, what do you think?
Well, I'd
If
love
you're
to
a
hear about
parent,
naming and
or
y-
what's the weirdest name like you've had? Do you have any people in like school growing up that had a really weird name that everyone made fun of that you felt really bad for them?
I'm
I know
trying to
that's something to
think.
really rack the memory, but I just like Nimrod, like you will literally never forget. I felt so bad for him.
I
And we
think
were like kids are just assholes. Kids are
kids are gonna
assholes.
like at that age, we all
Yeah,
be
no
part
one
of it, go through it.
knows.
Yeah.
No one, everyone's just an asshole. There's a lot of hormones racing. Those were like some of the worst times of my life. Middle school. Okay. I have another weird story before we get into the secrets that I feel like this is like a weird secret that someone would submit. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, this is perfect. This is another New York Post article. The New York Post is wild and out with their stories. I don't know where, like these reporters, like I don't even know how they find these stories. Like reporters must go through like hospital records or like, I mean, I know a lot of people just share way too much on TikTok. So I feel like they get a lot of stories of people who are like saying, telling stories on TikTok. But these type of stories, I'm like, where did did someone like come forward with this? Anyways, here's the title of this article: Unconscious man rescued with 9 rings strangling his penis. What a ringling, says the New York Post. An Australian man had to be hospitalized after passing out with 9 metal rings constricting his penis following a botched attempt to improve his performance in the bedroom. Oh my God, ads popping up. Sorry. Doctors detailed this case as one of the rare cases of penile strangulation. Ugh. And they had to have rescue firefighters come and rescue this man. Can you even imagine? He was 44 years old. He was rushed to the emergency room with 9 heavy duty industrial stainless steel rings wrapped around the base of his wiener for
9 of them.
9. And he had it happening for 12 hours.
Ah.
The unfortunate soul, this is like how they write too. It's like bizarre. Who was reportedly intoxicated at the time, of course. Like that is the thing. Like, how could you do that sober to yourself? He reportedly had utilized these bizarre bedding bands, like apparent. I don't even know how you use them in bed, in a half baked attempt to maintain a wee an erection. I don't know why I think erection is like a bad word. He apparently passed out and awoke 4 hours later in immense pain.
Oh, that would be immense pain.
So they had to use um like he had to go into surgery and they literally had to use like a ring cutter to
Cut them off.
cut him off
Yeah.
because it was so swollen. Due to the inherent risk of performing a delicate surgery with power tools, like obviously he had to be asleep and they had to put a tongue depressor between it. Oh my god. I literally cannot even. So it ends with, so really the only thing that ended up happening, obviously, than him being like in crazy pain, is his urethra was swollen. So he had to have a catheter in for a week. And then for month, oh well, says someone ironically follow, so it just says following this act. It doesn't say for how long, but he now experiences erectile dysfunction because of
It's a painful story to talk about.
I know. I'm sorry to the men. I guess I didn't really think about that. Are
That's
you
all right.
like clenching your butthole right now? Full clench?
No, not clenching. Just
Um, you always hear about these stories, especially like there was this whole series that I know some nurses have done on like what they found in hospital rooms, like up people's buttholes.
that one's always got some.
Crazy. And like that's, people just, it's like I don't know if like people like get in a frenzy and like I don't know if like the horniness takes over or like people are just like on a lot of substances and like think this is a good idea. But someone had literally sent me that one man had gone into the hospital because he had put an entire like toothbrush, the electric toothbrush.
I think, did you share that one on a podcast yet? No, I
No,
remember
I
you
think I
telling me about that one.
talked
Yeah.
about that on Instagram. But
Oh, maybe that's
they
what it
had to
was.
surgically remove it, and it's just like, why? And at least this guy was honest. Like I think a lot of the times too, obviously it is so embarrassing that you're just like, I don't know how it got up there. Like I don't know how these rings ended up
Yeah, you
here.
got to be on. If you get busted, like if you're experimental, great. But
Right.
if you get caught, don't lie.
Yeah,
Just,
especially like
yeah.
let us help you, help them
I
help
forgot
you.
how to brush my teeth,
I know, and I slipped and I fell
and the
and
whole
the
thing got
toothbrush went
shoved
up
up
my
there.
butthole.
Yeah, that's
But it's the same, like with the rings, like since he has 9, like you put one on and you're like, still doesn't work. Like 2, still doesn't work. Like all the way up till 9, and then he just passes out, and
oh.
then he wakes up later. I can't imagine. Sorry to all the men out there who are now full clench, but again, just another story that like, to share with your loved ones over the dinner table. I feel like everyone needs to know that. And it's just, healthy tips, helpful tips for you if you're ever thinking about, trying something new in the bedroom. Don't do it.
Don't use 9 of them.
Don't use 9.
One
And
will
yeah, or
suffice.
use like, toys that are approved, We need a sponsor. Oh, what was the Honey Love was the one that I had worked with, the vibrator. Remember we done
Oh
that
yeah,
vibrator one? I
that's a
don't
good
know what else
commercial.
they sell, but I'm sure they've got to have some penile rings. I know that's a thing.
They're called cock rings.
Oh, right. Yeah, that too. Penile rings. Penile? Is it penile or penile? Penile?
Whichever one you
Penile?
prefer.
Someone said I said flaccid like 20 times in the last episode. I just love the word flaccid. When else would you use the word flaccid other than to describe a wiener? Like
Balloon.
a flaccid balloon?
Yeah.
You really say that?
No, I wouldn't. You asked what? I don't think I would unless
Oh,
prompted.
like
Like,
wow, that balloon is
that is
really
a
flaccid.
flaccid balloon.
Like if you're just like tired after your long day, you're like, "Whew, I'm flaccid."
I'm like a flaccid balloon right now.
Oh, you wake up.
That
Whew,
balloon. That
so
balloon needs a.
flaccid this morning.
That balloon needs a cock ring.
I think I'm gonna use yes. I think I'm gonna use flaccid in like everyday life. I think we should do that. Like, as like a cool new Gen Z term. I'm gonna bring in the word flaccid instead of like lit, like it's flaccid.
Yeah, that's gonna go over well.
I think the kids are gonna like it.
Why would
Kids, what do you
no
think about
wait?
the word
Why would
flaccid?
flaccid be like lit?
No, it'd be like the opposite of
Okay,
lit.
there
I
you go.
think it'd be like, oh, man, that sucks. Like, man, that's flaccid.
Like if you're in a fancy art museum and you're like, that painting is so
That's
flaccid.
giving flaccid. Take a shot every time you hear the word flaccid.
But don't put 9 cock rings on.
Wait, now I need to know, what is the definition of the word flaccid? Is it literally a wiener that is down?
Unerect.
An unerect wiener.
I don't know if that's the exact definition.
Definition of flaccid. You guys can't say we don't tell you anything. Oh, wow. It doesn't.
It's not just for.
No,
Nope.
it is
That's why I said
soft
balloon.
or hanging loosely. She took his flaccid hand.
Take my
Wow.
strong
Take
hand.
my flaccid hand.
See, balloon was an acceptable answer.
Yeah, I have never heard the word flaccid used other than describing a ween.
No, I don't think that you really can use it without.
No, but
that'd be
we
the
should.
way that people.
Let's bring flaccid back. Make America flaccid again. What's the opposite of flaccid?
We're never going to get sponsored by Viagra.
Ooh, Viagra, hit us up. All right, anyways, I just feel like, wow, you guys came back with so much knowledge from this episode. Like, honestly, this should be it should be under the educational category. All right, I feel like after that weird shit, let's get into some more weird shit. What do you say, Jay? Hame? What do you say, Hame?
We need some transition music or like. I thought you were just going to go into.
I was,
song,
and then I took
yeah.
a right turn.
But you totally threw me off on that
Not
one.
a left, a right.
Got it.
And then and then I came back, and then I don't even know. I couldn't even replicate that if I wanted to. I will think about it though.
Not a hard turn, a flaccid turn.
Oh, love that, James. Well done. All right, it is time for the segment of weird secrets. I'm gonna work on this song. But if you want to send in a weird secret, something weird you've done, you want to, we haven't got any more DoorDash or Uber stories. So if you have any of those, you have a weird name,
just be careful.
I almost kicked the dog. You kicked my dog? Do you know that video?
I do
you
not.
You came over here and you kicked my dog? You don't know that video?
Where's no?
Anyways, if anyone knows what that is, comment below.
Sounds like a Borat thing.
It's I don't even remember who did it. It was like one of the like YouTube videos from like 20 years ago, and it was like a prank call where some guy calls his neighbor and like says he's
like
gonna
a
press
crank
charges.
anchors thing.
That's exactly what it was.
Got it.
That's exactly what it was. Oh my god! Now we gotta watch Cranky Anchors.
I could totally watch Cranky
Anchors. That's like the classic OGs of social media. No, not really. What was it on? TV.
Comedy Central.
Oh, it was.
Jimmy Kimmel was part of it.
What?
Yeah, it was before the Jimmy Kimmel show.
Interesting.
Jimmy Kimmel got famous. His first show on Comedy Central was called The Man Show.
Huh.
And it was him and a guy named Adam Carolla, who was a boxer. You remember Carolla?
Yes, I do.
And they had a guy that I can't remember his name, but it's going to come to me. He like drank beer faster than anyone in the entire world. Like he could just slam a beer.
Interesting.
And they used to do this whole chant, and then they drink a beer together, and it was called The Man Show. And they had like just hot girls in lingerie basically dancing around.
Oh, I think I do remember.
And it was literally like his first talk show, and it was
That's hilarious.
It's called The Man Show, and it just talked about like it would be just stupid guy humor, or they interview guys.
Did you watch it?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Good to know. Interesting.
Jimmy Kimmel was hilarious. I mean, he was funny. He still is.
Who knows?
He is debatable. A hell of an Oscars host.
No, that's debatable.
What? You don't think he did a good job?
When was the last time you watched the Oscars?
You make me watch it every year. We watch. He hosted this year. He did a great job.
Nah. Okay. Are you ready?
Prepared.
Okay.
Hi, Sam and James. Big fan. Love your podcast. Love your Instagram shenanigans even more. So my weird story. Can't say I'm proud of this one, but it is weird. When I was between the ages of 10 and 12, I was in the restroom at my house, taking a shit, and realized too late that there was no toilet paper. So instead of calling out to a family member to come bring me some, I thought it was a good idea to use the towel hanging on the rack in front of me and just clean myself up. You'd think logically that I would take it with me to destroy the evidence, like throw it in the wash. Nobody will ever know that I had to do that. Instead, I hang the towel back up on the rack and just fold it over so that the fecal remnants are hidden. The next day, my brother's taking a shower, and he used that to dry his face off. And let me tell you, he got the exfoliation of a lifetime, and he's still scarred to this day that this happened to him. Blames it on me. My mom confronts me, and I vehemently deny it and say, no way, it was the neighbor girl. She had to have done it. She'd been over recently. I would never do anything like that. So nobody knows to this day that it was me, and I will die with this secret. I'll never tell a soul in my family.
That was a classic. Who hasn't, once in a while or once in a life, in your life gone into a bathroom, done number 2, and went and saw there's no fucking toilet paper?
Very plausible scenario. It's happened to all of us.
It's happened to all of us. But the only, you were 12. So I think she said she was 12.
Between 10 and 12.
Yeah.
Somewhere in
So,
that age range.
I mean, if you were 25 and you're like 37, be like, and hung it back up for your family. But, I had probably definitely done that as a 12-year-old for sure.
And to just go and blame it on someone else continually.
At least that's like kind of a safe person to blame it on.
The neighbor girl.
Yeah, no one's gonna, she can't really fight you on it, That is that's kind of like the best case scenario. Like that's what I would have done.
Do you think that your parents would confront the neighbor girl's parents?
No, because they're not going to,
They would have just let it go to.
Yeah, right? Would your parents have done that?
No, probably not.
Right? It's like, she probably had a poopy whoopy. She had a little poopy butt.
Now, I wonder if her brother still checks towels to this day.
Because that's something that stays with you.
That one?
That's trauma that never leaves.
That's going to stick with you.
That will literally.
Of the 5 major senses, we know that smell is the closest sense tied to memory, right? It's the thing that is most tied to our memory. And that, the olfactory sense, it doesn't go away.
Does not. That's why, I feel like forever, I have my towels, you have your towels.
I use your towels all the time. No, I'm kidding. I don't. I'm joking.
God, I
don't.
Say,
I know you're very protective of your towels.
Because I had a similar situation where I had used, this was more in college, but I had used someone's towel and they were like, oh my God, I used that as my
clean the butt crack or something.
Well, yeah, it was her dirty hair, gym towel. I was like, I thought it smell, I was like, oh my God. So that's why I feel like, yeah, it'll change you. Once it happens, you're like, never again. You'll never make the same mistake twice. That's a good thing. Sometimes there are lessons in life that come to you for a reason.
Poopy towel would be a powerful lesson.
Poopy towel is a powerful lesson. All right. Thank you so much for calling in. And always remember, use your own towels. Trust no one's towels. All right. James, are you ready?
Prepared.
For the next. Here we go.
I don't even know where to start. Firsthand pegging experience. I dated this man, a lawyer, for 3 years, and he fucking loved to be pegged. In fact, he called it Strap-on City, and he fucking made appointments with me. It would be, I don't know, 11 a.m. on a conference call, and he's like, hey, Strap-on City later? And I was like, fuck no. It's not fun. It's horrible. I did not enjoy it. It was a whole fucking process, and I have so many details. Probably disturbing details, but they're definitely worth sharing because what an experience. Can't say that I liked it, but I did it. And here we are. Bye.
The fact that he calls it, what did he Strap-on City?
Strap-on City.
is hilarious. There are just, I feel like, some guys that are really, really comfortable with it. Like, it is funny how, like,
To each their own.
to each their own.
I've never heard it from the female perspective, I guess.
Yeah.
Like that she just, I never realized that I never even thought that, like, how much a woman might hate doing something like that.
Well,
Never even
what
thought about
pleasure
it.
does a woman get out of
Yeah,
it?
well, did they have the double one? So the woman gets one side, I guess the other? No, I don't know.
Like, like a seesaw?
Yeah, like a seesaw.
Double-ended dildo.
They have those.
Huh. You want to try it?
No, not at all.
Yeah, I just think there's no enjoyment, and it is like, like, it doesn't feel I feel like it would be like non-natural.
Well,
Non-natural.
it was interesting to hear from her
Yes,
perspective how much she
yes.
just did
Didn't
not
like
enjoy it.
But it's like the same thing as like when you get like titty banged,
Oh, that's nothing
It's
for
like,
women. Yeah.
right. You're like, this is fun. And the guy's like, is that awesome? It's like, no. But we love it. It is, it's an art. It's an art form. Some people, pegging is more personal than comedy. Is that what they say?
I haven't seen that one on a bumper sticker yet.
On a t-shirt?
Yep.
Anyways, thank you so much for calling in. That was a beautiful story.
Great back-to-back shares.
Beautiful story. All right, James, are you ready for the next one?
Prepared.
Hi, Sam and James. I absolutely love your podcast. It's amazing. But I'll keep it short. A few years ago, after I had my daughter, I put on an extra £14 or something. So my friend had said to me, you can go to Holland and Bart and buy these things called Slimma tea. It's just like a tea you take every night before you go to bed. And it's literally like an explosive laxative. I realised that after. And it helps you lose the weight. So stupidly, I bought these things. Nothing was happening for a few days. And then afterwards, I had brought my kids to a shopping mall. We were in the shopping mall, and then it kicked in. I needed to poo. So I trailed my kids up to the toilets. And when we got up there, had all been refurbished. There were like these new frosted glass pods that you went into. I pressed the green button, went into the pods, trousers down, absolutely explosive. The room was stinking. It was bogging it burnt the hairs on your nose, the smell. Then the door swung open and there was all these people standing there. And I was like, what the fuck? I screamed at my daughter, press the button, press the button. She was pressing everything bar the button. And yeah, I had a whole group of people just watching me poo. And it was terrible because I couldn't control my body. It was just going away. And yeah, that's my story, and I'll never live it
down. First of all, obsessed with your accent. Your accent is very good. No, I'm
Drink
obsessed. Yeah.
When you do an accent, I think that's in the rules.
Oh, that's another. Yeah.
Do you know what country she was from?
Ireland.
Yes.
Ireland.
It was beautiful. Could you say a phrase for us in Irish?
The pooped in my pants in the pod in Ireland.
You sound just like her.
I know. I've like had this vision in my head of you, like the doors just opening and there's like a crowd of people and you're just like staring at them dead in the eye while you shit your like.
You can't uncontrollable. Yeah. Like yes.
And
there are products out there like that for people.
Yeah, I've taken them. I've taken them.
You've taken?
Well, there's a smooth move tea. Like one of my friends, I had said that I'd been a little stuck. And
I've had
smooth move.
I think we tried it one time.
Yeah, I know I tried it one time. And I don't even know if you even.
I think what she's talking about though is like
a real like
very aggressive.
Yeah, but because even like I remember waking up first like out of bed, like literally like sprung out of bed, like I'm gonna shit myself. But it's not a great feeling. It's not a great feeling. But you do, you get unstuck if that's what you're trying to do, and you'll shit yourself.
But having to do it in public.
I know. Wait, so your daughter was like in the pod with you? Or
No,
you putting
I
her?
think her daughter was outside the
Oh, and
pod.
she was the one pressing the
Yeah,
button. Got it. Yeah,
well, it
press it open.
opened for some reason. I don't know if the daughter pushed the button. I think it just opened because she
Opened.
was in there for so long. Like these
Yeah,
are
yeah,
like
yeah.
public restrooms, I think, in Europe that you pay to use.
Yeah.
I
That's hilarious.
vaguely
There's no
recall
way you would
seeing those.
open just because your time's up. Can you imagine? You have 5 minutes in the bathroom, or
Like,
else
you're
they're gonna
timing it
open the
out.
doors.
You're right. Something must have happened. That would be just awful, but also hilarious.
Oh my god, yeah. But I wouldn't want to be near that door. When the 5 minutes is up, it's like Squid Games.
That would be funny. Oh, like Squid Games.
Yeah,
That would be funny for one of those celebrity. Why can't I think of the name of a type of show where you're
you have 5 minutes to shit.
no, you're
everyone-
pranking someone, like a prank show
Yeah,
where you're like, there's these celebrity prank shows, or they used to have celebrity
Punked?
ones, huh?
like punked. Or,
Yes, like Punked,
yeah,
where
where they're like, you got 5 minutes to shit.
well, no, they don't tell them that, but they have them like they're going around and say they have to go to the bathroom, and
There's
then they
nowhere
open
to
the
like
door on
fake
them.
that. Yeah, I feel like they would lose their
It's
shit.
just I'm just spitballing an idea here.
Just spitball.
It doesn't
You're
mean
just
it's
flaccid.
doesn't
You're
mean
just
we're.
being flaccid.
I don't
Are
think
you
it was a
being
flaccid
flaccid?
idea. I think it was it was kind of like a half erect idea.
Half flaccid idea.
Yeah.
Hilarious. That is an amazing story. I'm sorry you had to go through that, but I think, again, I think we've all had those moments, or just like someone opening the door on you, like who hasn't been walked in
Like
on, like when
The
you're
dog
taking
or
a dump.
cats.
Well, that's different. Prue loves to watch. Yeah, it happens. It happens to all of us, but you know what? You probably will never you'll never see those people again. And it's a great story. What were we going to say?
What would you so if you're in, like, say you're at a restaurant or something, have you ever had somebody knock on the door to see if you're still in there?
Of course.
What do you say?
Good question. I say, be right out.
Oh,
What do you
good.
say?
You know what's funny?
What?
Not to bring up my Packers again, but this was a question that they asked.
That is
on
a
one of the
good
Packers show.
question.
They were talking about this because
interesting.
one of the hosts, she's a Packer reporter, and she was at the Lizzo concert in Milwaukee recently.
Yeah.
And she was in the bathroom, and she said she was only in there like a minute, and somebody was banging on the door already.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like a private stall situation. And she said, she says occupied. Like and she was trying to think of other times in her life.
I know
that
it's
she
an
might
awkward
say,
thing because you're like, hey, I'm in here.
I've yelled, I'll just yell pooping. You want to tell people what you're doing. They're not going to come. They're not going to come.
Peeing in
but
a public space.
Oh yeah, I've yelled that before.
And you just say pooping.
Well, they're less likely to come in. If I just say occupied, you just say pooping. That's why it's funny. I just heard that I was listening to it this weekend, and it was a Packer podcast, and it's like an old Packer player, and then like sports and other sports reporters, they have a Packer podcast, and they brought up that exact scenario.
That is
and they
such
said,
a
what
good
do you say?
question.
I know. And I was like, well, I just say pooping.
Poop?
What? That now the person knows what's going on. They know what they're getting into. And for a guy, nobody, like when we
you're
go
peeing
pee,
in a urinal.
we pee. We're either peeing in a urinal, even if it's a private bathroom, like where it is just
Right.
one stall. It's not enough time. Like we're not in there.
Yeah,
no
you don't
offense.
wash your hands either.
We don't
so you're
check
in for
our
5
makeup.
seconds.
I don't wash my hands.
He's
like
disgusting.
there's a lot of reasons.
That is so funny.
Yeah. The only reason a guy would get knocked on is if we're pooping.
Right.
So I tell him what I'm doing.
Such like a reflex because you're like, oh, yeah. Like a lot of times I'm just like,
yeah, pooping.
Because you just want them to know.
You got to tell them what you're doing.
Pooping.
Hey.
By the way, I also had thought I had asked this too before. So I had once when we were in a restaurant, like every time if it's a bathroom where like it's a single stall, I knock. If the door's closed, I knock.
Oh, nice. That's very courteous.
Because again, like I've had so many times where I've walked in on someone
because they forget to lock the door.
They forget to lock it, or like the lock, like sometimes like locks don't work. Like there's like multiple lock, and you use the wrong one.
Yeah.
And some woman like yelled at me. She was like, "The door's closed. Like, why are you knocking?"
Because
and I was
you're
like,
polite.
Right.
poop and
Right.
etiquette.
Right. I was like, what? Did you want me to just like anyways, but that is such a good question. Comment below what you say if someone knocks on the door, because that is, yeah, I'm in here. But when we were in Spain and someone knocked on the door, you know, when we were at that restaurant, the
The one that
Chiquita.
you thought you locked yourself in there?
No, I always think I'm gonna lock myself in a bathroom though, which is another reason. Like, I'm kind of scared to use some of the locks if they look sketchy. I'm like, oh my god, am I gonna lock myself in here?
Are you more scared of locking yourself in a bathroom or getting stuck in an elevator?
Ooh, depends how small the bathroom is.
Got it.
But I'm claustrophobic, so it's like if I'm like in like a small space, I'm like, I'm too scared to lock myself in here. But being in an elevator is literally like one of my top fears.
Yeah.
Top fears. What was the other question I was just gonna ask you? Oh, when I was in Spain, like they, you know, I was like, I'm in here, and I was like, oh, do they know what that means?
Oh.
You know, but I'm like, obviously someone is in there, but yeah, occupado. That's a good idea to say occupied. Occupado. Not that I'm going to be in Spain again soon, but interesting. That is a great question. You know what someone else had asked now that you bring this up, I was like, that's a good question. When you are in the shower, what's the first thing you wash? Like face, chest?
Hair. Like face,
yeah.
I just sort of walk into the water and yeah.
But like, you know, like scrub, like you put body wash on.
Under my arms.
Underarms.
The stinky part. You start with the stinky part.
That's, yeah, there was like, you know, I can't remember what I read. I can't remember like what there was the results of like what most people do. But that's another thing, like, you know, because it's such a natural thing. Like no one's telling you, you know, no one tells you what body part to wash first when you go into the shower, I guess, unless you.
Which foot do you go upstairs with first?
Right, because I'm righty.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I always lead with my right. Yeah. What, you're lefties, right? Ambidextrous.
I try and switch it up sometimes.
You're crazy.
Stimulate the nervous system.
Oh my god. All right, comment below what you say when you're in the bathroom, and also comment what you wash first. I wash my vag first.
Get the stinky parts.
And like I remember I was reading comments, like someone had asked us on I think it was a TikTok, and they had said you know, your privates, and everyone was like, ew, you don't do that first, because then you get, you know, and then you spread it.
I think about that with the armpit idea, right?
Yeah.
But that's what soap's for.
Well, that's what I'm like.
You're just spreading soap throughout your body.
Right.
That's my take on it.
It's very interesting. It's a very interesting thing. Because, you know, yeah, it's such a reflex.
I don't want the soap to be diluted by the time I get to the stinky parts. The stinky parts is the parts you're taking care of.
Yeah, I know. But now that like I think about it, it's like, yeah, like I wash my face last. And like I'm literally getting but I'm using soap, so it should wash away.
I would say that's okay.
Okay.
Could we have a dermatologist comment in on this?
Yeah, like who makes those rules?
Maybe
does God make the rules?
A pathologist.
Lucifer. Pathologist.
Yeah.
If there's any pathologists out there,
I think we have a pretty big pathologist.
Dr. Fauci.
Pretty big pathology. Fauci? I think he was.
I
don't think he was a pathologist. He was. I can't remember. I'll have to look it up.
Interesting. Anyways, guys, we're getting
microbiologist would work actually.
Microbiologist. Anyone out there? Anybody out there?
Do you know any microbiologists?
Let us know.
Yeah.
Comment below. All right, guys. Don't forget, if you want to leave us a weird voicemail, weird secret, something weird you've done, I want to know too. I know I'd done some paranormal stories on Instagram, and people are scared. So if you have, send us some more paranormal stuff on here too. We love the paranormal. Anything weird, you know the deal. Go to
SpeakPipe.
Speakpipe.com. That's speak, SPEAKPIPE.com/weird and proud pod. I'll also put it in the description of this podcast video, whatever platform you're watching on. So you can just click it. Anonymous, records up to 1 minute 30 seconds, and we love to hear from you. Hope everyone had a great week. Hope everyone has a great week moving forward with Memorial Day weekend coming right up, which means Taylor Swift is coming up.
Woo, woo.
James is so excited. I know I have so much to teach you before we go too. We have like a lot. I should like put together like a PowerPoint on like things that you need to know. But we're going to Maine this weekend. Lots of things. So make sure you are, following along on the Instagrams, and we'll see you hopefully at a show. If you're in the areas of the show, hopefully, if you haven't already, if you're in Maine, you better have bought a ticket. Hopefully, by the time you're listening to this, we've met and embraced. And Austin, Texas coming up soon. SamanthaRamsdale.com/events. And we love you guys so much. Hope you have a great week. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting. And stay weird. We love ya.
Love you, weirdos.